Welcome to your reading. Let's see what's coming through today, what it is you need to know for your highest good, when this video finds you. I've already prayed, so I'm pretty much set. Let me get a spread, please. Okay. It looks like someone is developing or has developed feelings for you, or is recognizing or realizing now that you stirred something within them that is out of the norm, like it's not ordinary, especially not for them. You're dealing with someone who moves very calculated, someone who can juggle a lot of things at the same time. They also seem to have a lot of people needing them, like needing them to orchestrate their life. So I'm seeing they're very intelligent, very smart, even book smart, but also street smart. They're very centered as well. They have a very grounding element. It just seems like when it comes to emotions, that's where they, I don't want to say fall short, but I'm hearing they're feeling something that they haven't felt in a very long time. That's the underlying energy. And I'm getting a lot of arrows that are painting upwards. It's as if meeting you, or this dynamic, or this connection, however it came about, is meant to help the both of you ascend and grow and evolve in ways that you may take longer if you didn't have this collision. It feels like a collision. This can be like an intense coming together and then also like a falling away again, so that would speak of a catalyst, but there may be a bit more here at play. You're occupying a lot, you're taking in a lot of this person's space, like a big part of the mind is occupied with you. I'm hearing that's how it started, and now it's moving more into a feeling space. Now they're starting to acknowledge or recognize what you stirred within the heart space, and that is, again, I'm hearing out of the norm, like out of the ordinary. It's not ordinary for them to meet someone that can touch like a deeper place within them. So moving on along the spread, I am seeing it looks like you're the reckoning, and if you know what that means, it can be karmic, but karmic doesn't always have to mean that there's not something more that can grow out of it. It just means, in this case, what could be is that you have met someone, or two have collided, and first and foremost, it's bringing up all the karmic patterns, everything that needs to be resolved before you could even see what else is possible. So if it brings up karmic patterns for the both of you, it can be really triggering, and it can be even, I guess, painful or hurtful if you're confronted with a pattern that in the past has already caused you a lot of pain and it feels familiar. it's gonna be like, it can feel like a gut punch, or even like someone punching on your heart, but it's not meant to stay that way. It's meant as an opportunity for both of you to go deeper within yourself and actually acknowledge what has been keeping you in a karmic loop individually. Like, what do either of you not want to repeat again? So for you, it can be something totally different than for what it is for this person, of course. But all in all, I am seeing there's an element to this connection where you need to be strong. You cannot waver on your standards. You cannot waver on your boundaries. You cannot push and blame, push accountability, responsibility into the other person. This is not that type of connection at all. I'm hearing a mature love. So it could be that both of you have, already been through a lot of shit. Doesn't matter what age you are, but I heard someone shouting and I felt it, like, instantly it made me feel anxious, which is showing me that one of you may have experienced that. You may have grown up in a household where there was a lot of shouting, where there was a lot of not feeling safe, and this person specifically apparently didn't feel safe to express, or the both of you, this could be a mirrored wound, that you didn't feel safe to express yourself and didn't feel safe to share how you feel. So of course that is then going to be extremely challenging if that is the threshold. If one, let's say this person needs to come forward and express themselves, or at least be somewhat vulnerable or more vulnerable than what they're used to, and they have a pattern or they have an imprint of that not having been safe, that is going to be extremely challenging. That is going to not only take time, I heard take time, but it's going to be confronting, because there's this sense of like knowing that that is the only possible step, the only, or like them on a soul level acknowledging that that is what needs to happen, without being extremely afraid of it, because that's how you break a karmic pattern or cycle. You face those fears, with, the idea maybe that it will turn out how it has always turned out. But then when it doesn't, when it turns out differently, you transmute and you break out of a loop. But a lot of people, or I guess for everyone, it can be very challenging, can be very confronting to have to get to that. You get to that threshold and you need to do something. You're being pushed on a soul level to do something that feels very uncomfortable and even stressful. But it's like you have the opportunity, kind of like red pill, blue pill, like which are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to stay in your comfort zone, or are you going to allow yourself to grow and evolve? And the thing is, with karmic patterns, there's this fear, because you know how painful it can be, you know how much something can hurt, and then when you have fear of having to relive that, it can put you in a state of, freeze, fight or flight even. And I'm hearing you may, in this specific connection now, the both of you may need time to recalibrate, which could mean space away from each other, or again, I'm hearing the word mirror souls, so it would make sense if you mirror wounding, like you mirror each other's wounds back at each other, and that can bring up a lot. That can bring up tears, that can bring up buried emotions, that can bring up memories that you may have disassociated from, or trauma that you disassociated from, and suddenly you're being confronted with that again. It can be very triggering. But as you know, and if you're also on Patreon and we have worked through this, you know that triggers are an opportunity to grow and to evolve. So you are two very evolved beings. I got that already when I said this could grow into a mature love, because you have already you're not a beginner or amateur when it comes to shadow work, or like dealing with triggers, or dealing with pain and dealing with suffering. Like, it even seems like that may have been your norm, like constantly having some sort of roadblocks. Like, it seems like the two of you share that as well, that it's never been easy go sailing. So I'm hearing, why should it now? Like, that's part of the karmic, or that's part of the layer that is being purged as well. Like, the two of you meeting, recognizing each other, and having this innate feeling like, why should it be easy now? Like, this could also lead to self-sabotage. Like, if one or the other feels like they're not worthy of this, or it cannot be easy, it's never been easy, so why should it be easy now? It can lead to sabotage, which can also be part of what needs to be purged. Because at the end of the day, both of you do deserve union, or you deserve to see at least what can grow out of it once the karmic layers have been cleared, like once the patterns and the shadow. I mean, this is a template of something real. If you can see the other person's shadow and you don't flinch and you don't run away, that is where a lot of growth can happen. But again, it can take time for things to fall into place, because I have the 8 of Wands out, which is showing that there's a sense of alignment. The two of you are aligned. You wouldn't have met otherwise either. It's more a question now of what are you going to do with what it's bringing up for each of you. Are you going to face it, or are you going to run away from it and then eventually have to repeat it again down the line, whether with the same person or with someone else that shows up as a mirror, as a catalyst? So like I was saying, I'm talking, the reading is two very mature souls. This is not your first rodeo. You may even know each other. Like, you may recognize each other's energetic imprint, soul essence, like you're familiar to each other, which again doesn't make it easier, because a lot of the times you'll try to rationalize it and you try to make sense of something that you can feel. You can just feel it. You can feel that there's something there. It looks like this came very unexpected. I'm getting that the whole meeting, like, also the thing is with the two of you, I'm seeing with soul recognition, it wasn't so much as falling in love with each other or falling for each other. It was more like remembering, or is more like remembering, and that of course can then feel like very intense already, very fast. And again, if you try analyze it, or you try finding like logical reasoning for it, it can drive you insane, because there's no real logical reasoning for it. You may hear the terms of like, past life connection, but you can't really make sense of it unless you truly feel what it's like. And even if you do feel what it's like, it can still hit you like freaking brick, like. But again, this meeting, this collision of these two souls is for your evolution. This is for your growth. This is meant to accelerate the pace of what you have already been working through, and it's only because the both of you are strong enough to deal with this. You can, in other words, you can hold the frequencies. You may short circuit, or you may need some time apart at the moment so that you can recalibrate, but it's intense shadow work that the two of you are doing right now. It's bringing up a lot of patterns. Can also be ancestral, which would even be a layer deeper, which can make it even more. I'm even hearing the word frightening. Someone is feeling a little bit scared, or it's scary for both of you. But at the same time, you seem to feel, the both of you feel like you're a match made in heaven. Like, you may feel like that even a sort of mutual energy. I have the swan out as well, which is very symbolic for union. Again, mirror souls, like you recognize each other, you recognize part of you within this person, and this person recognizes part of themselves within you. Like, that's probably as intense as it can get, basically. But also, this is where you get reflected back how much love you have for yourself. How are you going to deal with loops repeating where you have betrayed yourself, where you have neglected yourself, where you have abandoned yourself? Are you going to repeat it, or are you going to choose differently this time around? So of course there's always different paths, you can choose, but it seems like you're standing in the middle, or the both of you are standing in the middle, and you are recognizing that this is a dance still, like you're energetically, you're dancing with each other, you're doing a tango, you're doing like a 1-2 step, and this can feel like even a dance with the divine where you're not even fully in control. And I'm getting that sort of what one or both of you are also struggling with, because you may both be sort of control freaks, that you cannot control what is happening between the two of you. Like it literally feels like thunder hits the both of you straight in the freaking head, and you just like, oof, kind of went unconscious for a bit, and now back up and like, what the fuck just happened? Like, did this just happen, that we really collide with each other the way we did? Can you clarify the Four of Wands? Yeah, one person here is not at all confused. Like there's no confusion. It landed on the priest, like the emperor, like the high priestess. I've been saying that the past days. I've been wanting to call the high priestess empress, which can speak of a merging. You can speak of how do I say this, like, I don't know the exact term, but I just got a vision of these three. Is it Hecate? The maiden, the mother, I think one more, like, and then the moons. I'm just picking up on a merging. There's like a merging that is happening, or even this person is bringing up different archetypes out of you. So, yeah, one person here has more, I guess it would be the feminine principle, has more of insight, is more intuitively connected, while this poor guy is kind of just like, I guess, just trying to juggle, like trying to make sense of what the heck is happening, and what he's feeling, like what they're feeling, but they can't feel it, even if they can't make sense of it, or if they can't make sense of it the way you can. It's like palpable, it's like in the air. There's a sense of, like I was saying, they just cannot stop thinking about you. It's like you're all consuming at the moment, you're consuming them. Can you clarify the Queen of Swords? They do have energies around them that are bothering me a little bit, because they're very close to this person, but they feel like invasive. They kind of feel like a bit parasitic, I'm just wondering why are they so freaking close to this person? Like, why are they even trying to merge with this person's essence? But again, that's not really for you to deal with, but that could be indicative of what they are dealing with, especially if you have been part of the collective and you have cleared some parasitic network out of your own life. You can recognize it within the other person, or you may pick up on subtle symptoms of them dealing with something that you have already come out of. So that's what I'm saying with this dance as well. This can look like you taking the lead energetically, and then suddenly the person taking the lead, or you taking the lead. I'm hearing you taking the lead energetically, and them taking the lead in physical, in 3D. And that as well will put you in a position, especially as a high priestess. This is very challenging for a lot of very intuitive, tapped in women, is when you see a storyline unfolding, you've seen the visions, you've had the insight, but you gotta allow 3D you gotta allow also the person to show up and learn and take the steps that they need to take for them to walk through the threshold, so you don't baby them, or you don't mother them, or you don't freaking think you have to drag them. Like, you gotta learn to take a step back, to allow the person to do things the way it's already pre-planned. But if you start meddling with another person's karma, whether this is account or whoever it is, you're not doing yourself any favors, and you literally could take on karmic lessons and negativity and even entities from another person. So you got to learn to hold the vision, or you can see what is occurring without like observing instead of getting involved. That's something I'm hearing may be coming around, or maybe even a karmic loop for you where you have gotten overly involved. You started trying to fix. That already came, I think, in last reading, of like trying to fill the gap. Maybe it was on Patreon, trying to fill the gap, trying to fill the silence, when actually as a mirror soul you're gonna also act as a mirror. Like, you do not then need to initiate something, you just gotta simply exist and allow your frequency, your energy do the work that is necessary. And just as you have to face yourself, and you have to face parts within yourself that you may have buried and hidden and haven't wanted to confront, or didn't feel necessary, or thought wasn't even around anymore, so does this person. And again, as two mature souls, you're not gonna rush in and try fixing the other. You're gonna become like a container where you can work through your stuff, they can work through their stuff. That is ultimately spiritually evolved. I'm hearing courtmanship could be an element here, but like even looking further, if you do both make it through the threshold, if you do both make like walk into the portal that you're being initiated into, that's what could come out of it. Like that you have a companion or someone that can hold your fire, can, you know, stay solid, can stay centered while you work through whatever you may need to work through, and you do the same for them without feeling the need to rush in and fix and save. Like, that is a template that if this reading is for you, you will have already dissolved, and you will have already alchemized and learned that you do not fix other people, you do not rescue other people. That is a timeline of like the sacrificial lamb that you have transmuted. So again, I'm saying this is evolved souls, you know, like yeah, I'm also seeing a bit of like, I want to say a mother wound, or for the feminine principles specifically, or it could also be for the masculine, but there's a mother wound coming through where that is showing up as well, where you or the person, the mirror soul, has taken on a template from the mother, a karmic lesson that has been passed on, could be through more generations. It could have to do, I don't know, I'm getting a sense like either betrayal, or like betraying yourself, themselves, in the name of love, in the name of like a higher, what would be considered a higher cause, which is not always beneficial, you know, like that can be part of also what can keep you in a karmic loop. When you sacrifice yourself, you make sacrifices, donning it as like, oh, I'm making it for a higher cause, like making excuses even when actually nobody wants to make those sacrifices. Like where did the imprint come from? And that is something that we work through in one-on-one sessions. This is exactly indicative then when you work with me one-on-one sessions for energy work, energetic recalibration. This is where we can take this specific mode, we can use the narrative, find out where in your lineage did it start, and then we clear the energy from there. So yeah, soul work is, you know, you work on it. It's called work for a reason. This is not just, yeah, acknowledging it is the first step, but some topics, especially if they're so deeply ingrained, you will just have to work on it. So that's coming up. I'm seeing like a mother wound. That, but also as a, like, you have the possibility, or if you work smart, like if you work smart and you have, you either know who to work with or you know how to work through this yourself, you have good chances of breaking out of this loop for your maternal line, which would make you a cycle breaker. Yeah, it definitely has to do with like, it has to do with, I'm getting a sense of a mother who has a sort of a warped idea of what love means, like pouring, overpouring, outpouring love at the expense of herself. And if you grew up in that environment, or you grew up with that template and you took that on yourself, it could be that for the most part of your life you were doing the same. You were pouring into people who cannot, for the life of them, be a container and even reciprocate like a third or a fifth or a sixth or a 20th of what you've poured into them. Like, this is some deep wounding that comes from, like learning that the more you pour out, the more you give, the more you offer, that's the only way you will receive it back, or that's the only way you will get honored. And then that never happens, and that can leave a deep wound of just feeling like you just don't have it figured out. Like, when it comes to love, this can be like, what exactly am I supposed to do? I'm hearing, what exactly am I supposed to do? So if you don't know what to do, this is something that this needs some work. And recognizing is a good step. Like, I don't wanna undermine that. If you recognize that this is something you have taken on or you are dealing with, that is already part of the work. And also Spirit is just showing me here that you get to dream a different template. Like, if you recognize a template that does not work for you, that you've taken on, that you do not want, or that you you want to shed that story, you get to dream a new one where you are happy and you are fulfilled and where you have what you desire. And with the Seven of Cups, this is very much, I guess, like some spiritual teaching that is coming through here, that not everyone wants to believe or acknowledge or sees as possible. Especially if you function from a state of lack, you will constantly victimize yourself and make excuses that you don't have enough of this, you don't have enough of that, the economy is crashing, I don't have, like, that will just keep you in a perpetual state of just repeating. You're just gonna stay in a frequency, the same frequency, because you don't allow yourself to choose different, and you allow the external world, whether this, if you're tuned into media, the radio, whatever, is very low vibrational, you're going to be in a perpetual state of lack, feeling like shit doesn't work out, the world is ending, we're all suffering and dying and starving. That's what you're choosing. So there's a clear message coming through. You can choose differently for yourself, but you got to do it. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to choose for you. You got to choose differently for yourself. So that's an option. And of course, it's not going to be just one day of tricking yourself into believing you have everything you wish and everything you desire. This becomes a commitment. You commit to a better life. You commit to reprogramming ancestral, generational, maternal, paternal, family templates that may have been running for eons within your lineage. Like, it takes commitment. You commit to a better life. You commit to not repeating something that you saw within your family or within your environment that you just don't want as your reality. So yeah, this back to this mirror soul, they came in at the right time, even if it feels like intense and there's a lot that is being purged or is being come up, where you are exactly confronted with like, what are you going to choose, what choices are you going to make. It's a blessing that this is coming up, because it's being, I want to say it's being balanced out, but I may not feel that way right now. But this is still well balanced out, I guess, like the karmic scales. Wait, let me just clarify this. Yeah, no, it does have to do with the karmic scales. It's just, it kind of feels like a dip, you know, when it feels worse before it starts getting better. But that is just because you're purging these frequencies that just have been, either running in your bloodline or just been running point blank, and you are fed up, or you see through what has been casted, like what also your own. It can be one of the most difficult things to actually acknowledge and see your own patterning and see where you sabotage and where you choose others over yourself, where you neglect yourself, where you abandon yourself, where you betray yourself. Like, that can actually be the most sobering and the most life-changing acknowledgements that you can make. And it can also be heartbreaking to when you see through timeline of where you see the different versions that you just yourself left stranded. It's not always other people, it's also you and the dormant thoughts and the dormant patterns that you had running then that have made you feel like you're not worthy of love, you're not worthy of respect, you're not worthy of human decency, and you tolerate shit, you stick around in relationships, environments that reflect exactly that lack back to you. So that's why I'm saying, you may not see it as such, but it is a choice, and you get to choose differently, but you've got to make that choice. Nobody can make it for you. And what happens with this catalyst, with this mirror soul, I mean, what did come through is that once the karma, or once the more like murkier, darker stuff is burnt away, something could grow out of it. But it also could just be a catalyst and an initiator. But still, it's a blessing, and it is a help for you to even, I want to say, be allowed or have the opportunity to look at yourself and look at the patternings that have been running so clearly. Like, you may not see it as such because it can feel like you're fucking drowning, but I want to say you've been through worse, or you've it's not the first time you had to work with something that is, maybe not the most comfortable. Yeah, I just got everything confirmed. There's definitely some heaviness around carrying spiritual and ancestral burdens, that you're the chosen one to deal with it, to be the transmuter, be the cycle breaker. And again, you are strong enough, you wouldn't, like, I don't want to say it in a way that you feel like you're under pressure, because you probably feel like that anyway already. but you're doing the work, you know, like, as difficult, as tough as it is sometimes, if you manage to make different choices and stick by it, or catch yourself when you want to go back into familiar patterns, you're gonna be grieving. There's a lot of emotional purging that comes with that. A lot of deep emotional purging, especially if it's ancestral, you know. But imagine how much lighter you feel after. And some of you, especially whoever this reading is for, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, there is a love here at play that feels destined, or can feel that, like, it may feel destined to you, and it's just coming with its challenges, especially around commitment and home life, and like where have you been hanging yourself at a cross. It's like that's where the divine, or the both of you, need to get very clear on, to see if you're still a match or not. If you are, then the story probably will unfold more. But I think I'm going to leave this reading I think it's enough for now. I will be back very soon, and we'll just see what comes through there, if there's more around this, or, you know, we'll just keep it open. But for now, this is what I have for you. I hope this helps you. I hope this offers you some clarity. I hope this even some tough love for some. But yeah, whoever's been here for a while knows what type of reader I am. Again, a reminder, you can always join Patreon if you want to just dive a little bit deeper, if you're like super motivated to confront yourself that way as well. And please, you're very welcome to join our beautiful, I don't know what to call it, community gang like this. It's been very, very I've been very, very happy with the people I've been attracting there. It's been intense work, but I've been loving reading for the Patreon gang. So please feel free to join there. Again, I'm offering one-on-one readings and one-on-one sessions, so that's always an option as well, to work with me personally, and or just stick around and we'll be doing more readings on here.